Right, now we are live. A few technical difficulties once again, just like my last one. But I were on my own that last one, so I had no help. 8 minutes late, it's not bad. I don't think they were banging door down. So joined with Elle again from Project for our series, and we've also got a special guest, Jake from the Base Show.
Hello.
And Jake, I don't know if you saw my butcher job of the fitness sphere, or what could we call it, that shows the greatness of CrossFit on mine and Elle's last show. So I don't know if it was Elle that suggested maybe getting Jake on to go through it, because we do these shows for context for you, Jake. I know you've watched a few, but we do these predominantly for the members at Project, cool. So that they can get just a few updates from Elle firsthand, and then we just talk about a few hot topics and stuff. And obviously, CrossFit is what is predominantly taught at Project, so it was kind of just to give people a view of how that stacks up against other training methodologies or regimes that they might have seen out there. That's about right, isn't it, El?
Yeah, we were talking about what is fitness, weren't we? What is fitness? Then we got onto 10 general physical skills, and then I said I'd seen your post on Instagram, and Beckett got stuck into it, got his bread knife out, and off he went.
We did it really well, mate. So I don't know. Do you want to give a bit of context? What made you dig into that, mate? What were your driver for that?
So I've bloody hell. So about 6 months ago, obviously I started doing my show, and I had to have I'm going back a little bit now, as a long story. I had to kind of have a think about what part of the industry, or what part of our small little corner of the industry was I passionate about, and what did I do? Like, my profession is a coach. I do this stuff for fun, but at least 5 hours, 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, I'm on the gym floor coaching. It's my profession. It's what pays for my kids' bloody meals. It's my life, and it has been since 2012. So I've got it in CrossFit. So I had to sort of think about, right, how many other people are out there with shows doing about the sport? Like, every single one of them, really. How many of them have got years and years of talent behind them in the sport, in certain things, in the media side of it, in what have yous? And I thought, well, okay, I can lean into the coaching side of it, and I can lean into sort of my speciality area where I'm passionate about. We talked about this before. I love the sport, and I love what it symbolizes, and it's the tip of the spear and all that kind of stuff, but it's not where my passion lies. I said this last week, that I would much rather visit the factory and understand how everything's made, rather than going to the shop and seeing the end result. Like, that's just the way that I'm wired. It's the construction and the engineering side of it, rather than the actual end result, where I kind of love seeing and understanding. And it's why the behind the scenes originally was the media that I really absorbed. It wasn't necessarily the athletes on the gym floor, on the sport floor doing the actual stuff. It's all the other shit. There's like videos of like Rich, Matt Chan and Bridges backstage doing rowing intervals and dicking around, and before like an event at the games, and they were having a real good laugh. And that was like, right, okay, that's what I'm interested in. And then their coaches walk over and they're talking about how they're going to attack the workouts. I'm like, okay, cool. That's the part of the sport that I enjoy. Watching them actually do the sport it's all right. It's the circus. It's great. It's good to see them doing what I do, but it's not where my passion lies. Anyway, so my shows are all geared up around the culture of CrossFit on the gym floor. So the members at the gyms, the people that I coach, Big Dave getting his first pull up, looking at scaling options and thinking on the fly and having those challenges as a coach. It's what I live and breathe. I can't profess to know the sport that well, but I've followed it since 2011. I've done every open since 2013, but that's not for the sport side of it. So that was initially about 6 or 7 months ago, or 8 months ago now, where I started thinking down those lines. 2 months ago, I got my email saying that I was 6 or 7 months away from having to renew my L2 for the third time. So I was like, all right, okay, I've got to lean into the coaching side of it again and educate myself. Started reading the L1, the L2, the kids, all the online stuff for the L3, because I've signed up for the L3. And it sparked this curiosity with all of the media that, because when you do the L3, Elliot, have you done the L3? Have you got your L3? Cool.
Yeah,
so you'll know. So all of the online material and everything is from like 10 years ago, longer. Like all the videos, the original journal stuff and everything like that. There hasn't been any update to it. There's no new education out there to build on. There's more data to have a look at, but there's no groundbreaking new additions to it. So I was looking through there. I've got my L1 and my L2 printed and bound. I highlight and I read a different article every day from the journal, and I'm going through that. And then the games happens. And I was sat there watching it, and I was thinking, okay, I had two thoughts. One was, are they still on our sickness, wellness, fitness continuum? So are they still on that continuum? Does it still work with the level that they're at now? Are fitness and health still the same thing as per CrossFit? That was my first thought, and I've done another thing about that. But the other thing was, they're talking about, like, we've defined fitness. We've defined what fitness and health are. Is this still optimal? Is this the optimal human methodology for training to get, for health and longevity? So it sparked this interest as I was reading through, and then as I was going through it, and then I signed up for ChatGPT for like creating posters for the gym and work and all that kind of crap. And then I was bored one day and I thought, okay, cool. Right. My project this week might be, so I started talking to it and pulling data from all of the websites and that kind of stuff. And I basically went down this route of asking ChatGPT, using information pulled from the reliable sources. So their own methodology websites. So all the CrossFit website was used for their data. All the F45 stuff was used from their data. High Rocks from their all that kind of thing. So it's reliable information put out at its most bias. So it wasn't ever going to be leaning towards CrossFit. And I asked ChatGPT about what is optimal for human performance. What is fitness? Define fitness itself. Don't use the CrossFit methodology. Fitness, 100 words. Define it itself. I then applied all of that and the data that they used to see which, using radar plotting and graphs, which of those methodologies covered the 10 movements, 10 fitness protocols that we look at, the general skills. Which of the 10 of the, I think it was 8 methodologies, cover the most amount of that radar plot out of all of them? And that's where that idea came from. I then pushed and shoved a little bit back and forward with it and came up with new and exciting ways to explore it. But that was how that came about, purely from interest from me, because I genuinely do give a shit about this kind of stuff. Because if, for example, using all the data we have, all the information that is now currently available, if it came out with CrossFit was suboptimal on that radar plot and F45 was better, I would have to question the validity of what CrossFit is and what I'm doing with CrossFit. Because if I firmly believe in getting the best general skills covered by a methodology, and I'm not doing that one, I want to pursue the one that is getting my clients the best results across the board for longevity and health. And then, just in case it didn't, but the results came out.
So before you go on with the results, then, mate.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
I am interested in what your reaction would have been if F45 say to come out on top.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you're that ingrained in coaching optimal performance that would have definitely, you would have just been like, right, fuck CrossFit, I'm going to go and coach F45 and get people in? Or do you think you did that knowing that CrossFit were going to come out on top, so it were free?
I knew it would, but with the scientific method which CrossFit claims to provide or adhere to, observable, measurable, repeatable results, I would have been at a point where I'd have had to evaluate and assess whether or not I wanted to continue doing this thing. Because for me, it's about the integrity. We talk about integrity, we talk about quality, we talk about, being genuine. If I can't, with all honesty, say this is the best thing out there, I don't know if I would be able to do it. Don't know if I'll be able to coach it. Look, I'm a weightlifting and powerlifting coach as well. And when I'm coaching powerlifting, I'm talking to the people that I coach, and they know full well my thought on powerlifting for health and longevity. It's not the optimal thing. And I tell them all the time, but it is optimal if you want a really good SBD. Like CrossFit isn't optimal for SBD over specialists. It's not, but we don't claim it to be. So however, we're claiming that CrossFit is the best for the general skills. And so when we plot it against there, and if it doesn't come out using all the information that is available, I do then have to question the validity of our methodology and have to go back to square one and think, all right, well, find out, do some more digging.
There we go then. What about you, Al? Would you have jumped to F45 if the results had been different?
I don't know. It'd have been an hard decision, that.
What actually is it? I've never done F45 or even been in the door of a building.
Well, Elliot, do you want to? I know quite a lot about it, Elliot. If you want to jump in,
I don't really know, to be honest. I know it's a franchise and it's like a watered down variant of like boot camp style functional fitness kind of thing, but I don't know the format of it and how they deliver a session. I'm not sure.
So functional 45. So it's functional training. It's 45 minutes classes. It's polished. It's neat. It's the franchise agreement is absolutely nuts. So my good friend set up a studio in London about 4 years ago now, and I helped him with the business side of it and setting it up because I had my affiliates, and I talked to him about gyms. At no point did I see it as a threat. At no point, because I understood what it was. It's a franchise, a full franchise. So the buy-in, you have to have I think at the time it was about 250k of capital available in your bank balance as a qualifier. And you have to send proof of that. You then have to buy all your equipment, all the flooring, everything has to be through them. You get a kit pack. The measurements of the TV screens, the 5 TVs at the front and the 2 at the back of the studios have to be measured precisely from the ground. They have to be in specific orders. You have to have a certain size stockroom out the back for the kit that's not being used. Now, effectively, you get programming set on I think it's a 4-week cycle. You repeat the same format workout, like every Monday, for example, for a 4-week block. And they've got jazzy names. It might be cowboy, let's say, on a Monday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are cardio sessions. Tuesday and Thursday are strength sessions. Saturday is a hybrid, and it's an hour long. All of it is interval training. So the strength work, it might be 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, as opposed to blocks of Tabata, so 20-10 for 10 minutes with a 2-minute rest to move through the station, through the studio to the next thing. There's no limit. Well, there's a limit of about 36 people per class. The studio size has to be a minimal size. The trainers have to wear uniforms that they have to buy through the franchise agreement. The workouts are sent via receive. So there's a receiver hub near the internet hub. This is all real boring and like long-winded. But you have to load up the workout on the tellies the night before and get the room ready for the workout the night before, because the studio will completely change from day to day. But imagine not a CrossFit gym, but with 36 people with like 20 different stations to go round, fast paced, 10-second rest between to move on to the next thing. You've got barbells there, you've got kettlebells there, you've got boxes there, you've got speed ladders there, you've got other barbells there, you've got pull-up bar there, and you have to move around the room in different orders and different disciplines depending on the workout. There's 2 coaches minimum. If you've got anything over 15 people, you have to have 2. The introduction is 3 minutes long, and the coach has to go through every single station as you go. The telly is click on whether you're ready or not. There's no pause button. The tellies turn on at a certain time whenever you've scheduled it on the thing. The countdown starts. It is metronomic. The target audience is 20 to 35-year-old couples that are professionals in cities. They're in and out in 45 minutes. You have to have a certain degree of professionalism with your showers. Everything has to be high spec. There's a massive cost injection, and the price point is about 1.5 times that of an average CrossFit gym.
Fucking hell, fire.
That's F45.
Do
Pretty
they
intense, huh?
all do the same workouts then? All
Yep.
F45s?
Every studio on earth does the same workout every day.
Wow.
So you got Australia kicking off 11 hours before the UK, and then the US. If you're in California, you are doing the same workout 4 hours before the Australians wake up to do the next day. So you can compare results and everything. And there's a nutritional thing every 12 weeks. They do an 8-week block of nutrition coaching. Every 12 weeks, they start a new one with a 4-week break. It's a legitimate methodology, and it does work in terms of developing people from zero, but it's not optimal. It's just not. It's way too much interval work at high capacity with low load for what we consider. There's no gymnastics. It's burpees, and there might be the odd pull up, but there's no real high level gymnastics. But for many people, it is optimal. It's why they've paired up with High Rocks.
I didn't know that. What is that, an official pairing?
Yeah, so they started off doing specific sessions for High Rocks. F45 studios can get discounts on tickets and stuff like that. They got shotguns on tickets and stuff. It's they're basically got their foot in the door with High Rocks. Whether or not it's like head office official, like we're official partners and their gyms and that kind of stuff, but you can partner up and become studios for High Rocks, I think. Could be wrong though.
What's the coaching process for that? Have you been to one, Jake? Have you been to one?
Yeah. So the coaching process is ultimately it's down to the studio owner. So it's down to the gym owner. There's no specific requirement for having particular coaching, but the coaches are more. Let's go down the route of inspirational, educational, and cheerleader. Those three trifectas. You want to go somewhere in the middle of those as a CrossFit coach, ideally. With F45, it is cheerleading. Purely cheerleading. It is. You're expected to give high fives. You're expected to join in when someone's on a bike and there's a bike free next to them. You're expected to jump on the bike and go faster than them so they keep up. And then you run over and someone's doing goblet squats. You jump in with the goblet squats and go, yeah, all right, come on. It's like, it's super jazzy. As opposed to kind of technical. You're not going to stop someone, put it this way, you're not going to stop someone mid squat and say, right, what I want you to do here is, what we're going to look at is your foot positioning. We want that knee, knee above the hip crease. You're going to get your chest up, tight tummy, tight bum. Blah, blah. It's real snappy, like, yeah, come on, you're doing really well. Yeah, don't worry about that. There's no time for intentional coaching.
It's like show and do then, really, isn't it?
Pretty much, but on the spot, and they can't stop. They can't stop to really, ingest your coaching style. Obviously, you can do that away from the classes, and you can pull them in, and you can do that kind of stuff. But these type of working professionals that your target audience, they're not likely going to have the free time to come down and spend an hour going through their squat mechanics with you.
No.
Yeah. Boring.
Right. Have you found your data, mate, to show?
No. What I might do is
I might have the images if they're any good for you.
It's cool. What I'm thinking is I can just pull up my Instagram. If I can find it from is it that one? Yeah, here we go. Right, I'll just share this. If that's all right. Let's share screen. Bibbity, bobbity, boo. Right, is that working? There we go. Cool. So I'll flip between the slides if you want. So
yeah,
this was the first one. This is all of them put on top of each other. And by the way, I really like the pattern that the F45 one makes.
Like a dick, innit?
Yeah, basically. I think the High Rocks one might as well. But there's three circles within this. There's an inner circle. Can you see my mouse thing moving around?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's this inner circle here. There's a mid circle, which is moderate. So you've got low impact, moderate, and then high going all the way around. Now, this is as prescribed. All the data was used as prescribed by each of them using the methodology. So as per their methodology, what it says is the methodology. So constantly very functional movement performed at high intensity, and then having a look at a sample of the workouts over a year's period from like main site, for example. This was all of them put on top of each other. So that's all of them side by side. I like these two. Actually, the F45 one's the best. I like that one.
Like a chode, that one, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's what they call them, isn't it?
It is, yeah, like a mushroom, like a button mushroom. But yeah, so obviously there's obvious ones like spin. Like no one would think that. Have you ever been to a spin class where they use the dumbbells and everything?
No, I've only ever done spinning on a bike.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So have you done Peloton at all? Have you seen what? Yeah. So you get like dumbbells, you can use them, and it's all you can work in dumbbell work on top of it. So there is a little bit of that, but for spin classes, they obviously don't profess to being strength orientated through their speed. Obviously, you're working on the speed because there's sprint work, but all the others are kind of a little bit broader. Orange Theory, we don't really have too much of that in the UK. So Orange Theory's, predominantly outside of the UK. Barry's boot camp's opened. Have you got any Barry's up north?
No, I don't think so.
I've never come across one. So what's Orange Theory, mate? Just briefly, like, what is that? Just like another sort of boot camp style thing? Yeah. It just has a very similar makeup to spin, doesn't it? Almost identical.
Yeah, it's more. It is more like that. I would say it's probably like if you were to walk into the Orange Theory gym, it would look and appear more like an F45 kind of. But I bet you can't guess what color everything is.
Green.
So yeah, and then Les Mills is Les Mills. Don't know if it's still. Oh, for fuck's sake, wrong one. Hang on. Right, there we go. So that's those. Why isn't it? Oh, yeah. So that's the two slides. So
what's the top right then? Top right is F45, and then the next one High Rocks.
Yeah, the middle one's High Rocks. So you got to think about what High Rocks is. Think of the stations and think about how you plan for that and program for that and train for it. It's a specific static event. You know exactly what you're getting. And that is also, by the way, why I then looked at the sports side of it and compared other sports rather than methodologies to this. That's the second one that I use the radars for. So yeah, the High Rocks is pretty static and to be honest, suits it very well. Like you wouldn't want coordination and agility to be high when you're specializing in High Rocks. Yeah, High Rocks is very limited in terms of functionality, I think.
It's very one-dimensional, isn't it?
Yeah. Even that, and again, it's none of this is easy. Like you can make anything tough. You can make a 1 minute fucking echo bike really shitty. It's not saying it's not easy or hard. It's just if we are developing our 10 general skills that we think help with general life and making you healthy and for longevity, when you plot the methodologies against that, this is what came out with. If you were to plot into this and say, I want to be really fucking good at High Rocks, then you would obviously want to gear up more. You wouldn't bother with the agility or coordination. You spend more time focused on the other bits and pieces. But yeah,
I guess that is an important distinction to make, isn't it? It's not saying that these are lacking, but these are very specific. And if all you want to do is these things, then these are the only skills out of the 10 physical, general preparedness skills that you're gonna sort of excel in. But that's by design, as opposed to like a lacking on their part, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is where I draw the distinction and between sport and methodology, because we blur the line between sport and methodology quite a lot. Or historically we did. Now it's tough to determine if they are the same thing still at a basic level. But again, that's why this one turned into this one. the health versus sport thing, and that the sickness, wellness, fitness continuum. I didn't know whether the sport of CrossFit still was optimal long term for the human body, for longevity. I wanted to know that at its current state.
Hyrox is the only one that appears on there, isn't it, from the other one as well, I think.
Yes, because it's the only sport. None of the others are sports.
Yeah.
So this was using the data from results in sport over the last 10 years. And like that, so I went through ones about age and looked at age, because this is what I was going on about longevity. I needed to use the age. So for CrossFit, for example, I used the last 10 years of winners and their average ages, and then averaged that out. So these are a bit blurry, isn't it? But yeah, so I used, and because it's on a fucking screen, it's going to be shit, isn't it? It's not big enough. That's what she said. But yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll stop sharing that. I'll pull up a picture. But this was probably my favorite, my favorite one. Can I share? And the reason I prefer this one, and intervene and tell me to fuck off at all times, by the way. There we go. This one is cool because at the sport level, you can see the coverage across the board at the sport level rather than the methodology from the last 10 years of the sports. The benefit to us as CrossFitters and the CrossFit Games is that it's constantly varied. Every year we have something different at the games level. And I was using World Championships as an example. Whereas high rocks, powerlifting, weightlifting, gymnastics, strongman's like ours. Bodybuilding is obviously the same. Cycling, that was road cycling. Rowing, it's always 2K. I don't know if you knew that, but rowing on the water is always 2K. And the marathon's always only obviously 26.2 mile run. So most of the others, so 7 of the others are constant and they're fixed. They're static sports. So ours covers a wider range across the board. The only one it didn't was gymnastics. So the only one it didn't beat on this one initially was gymnastics. And if you know gymnastics, you know it's insane for the whole body. Obviously, you're not hitting stamina and endurance, but for everything else, it is mental. Look at the amount of ex-gymnasts that actually fucking destroy CrossFit when they first get into it. The proprioception, the tendon strength, the movement quality, the range of movement. They're insanely adept at CrossFit.
What's the measure then, mate, for stamina and endurance? Because some of those gymnastics routines, is it just the time domain? Because some of them, the ones that last some last 4 or 5 minutes, but it's fucking, I don't know. Well, you need some endurance to. I guess.
You know the history behind Fran, yeah. So Glassman designed Fran to mimic and imitate the endurance and the capacity and strength domains of a 4-minute ring routine.
Right.
That's what it was. It's by design. So we get a flavor when we're doing Fran of what it would feel like to do a ring routine, but we don't have anywhere near the composure of what they do. However, the second thing that I added into all of this was adding age into the mix. So this second slide that I've just added, this is showing peak age as per world champs over the last 10 years. So the average gymnast world champ is 21. That deteriorates soon after 21. So the purpose of this was to look at, for longevity and health, which of these sports is optimal to maintain over a lifetime for health and longevity? Which one can we perform at for the longest over our lifetime? 29 was quite young, obviously, for CrossFit. But it got really geeky at this point. I had to average out and have a look at certain numbers, and the 45 is the age where we start to see deterioration across the board in mechanics and physiology. So we had to use 45 as an average age and then apply the radars, average ages, and health and longevity, and the data applied to that. It's a real geeky fucking thing. I had to come up with an equation for it.
So
yeah.
Talk me through this then, mate. So from a longevity point of view,
Yeah,
we're saying that bodybuilding and strongman are obviously the ones that you can sustain for the longest.
No, they peak. So the world champs peak later on in life at 35.
Right, because to develop that amount of strength, it takes that amount of time, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So based on all of that, I had to produce this longevity index. It was this maths fucking equation that took me about an hour to come up with. But it basically put up against the skill coverage that we initially came up with against the peak age of someone hitting that. So if you were a power lifter, it had this equation put up against the powerlifter age against the skill coverage as a health marker. So we want to hit the most amount of health markers you can over the course of your life. The distance between that peak age and the coverage became the number that we wanted to hit. The higher, the better. So which one of these are you hitting further along in life, and how long for? And the number that came out was CrossFit was on top. So CrossFit is you're able to perform at a higher rate for longer, and you cover more of the general skills against all the other sports, which is why gymnastics is slap bang in the middle.
Let me rank by longevity in it. But so this is where I'm struggling with strongman being so high on that list. Because
what do you mean?
Well, they're just speak over. They're just fat fuckers, aren't they? Like it's not healthy. It's not healthy to be a strongman, is it?
Well, it's not just the sheer size of the bastards, right? It's have you seen the fat? So the year Eddie Hall won in 2017, they did a composition analysis of the top 20 that went to the finals that year. The average, I might be able to Google it and find it. The average, what do you think the average body fat percentage of the 20 finalists in 2017 was?
Well, I feel like it's going to be much lower than I thought now.
Above or below 30%?
I would have said absolutely above before your intro. Now it's obviously going to be below
20%.
Fucking hell,
it's like
that is mental.
Body fat. Yeah, they look completely different to what they are. Their trunks, this sheer force they have to put through their trunks, they are a solid barrel of muscle. It is mental. The body composition of strong men, you've got in your idea in what a strong man looks like. If you look at them now, they're even leaner. They're getting down towards the 15%. Because they're becoming a lot more athletic. And again, it all comes down to the programming. We can apply this to CrossFit. So if you have a look at the body types over the years for CrossFitters, it's changed because the programming's adapted and changed. It's become, they're getting taller now. So we're getting, guys that are over 6 foot doing really well at CrossFit. It's not because they're necessarily catching up with the other, gymnastic side of it, but they are. But the programming is having to get a lot more strength based because there's only certain speed that we can go at for certain workouts.
What about the amount of gear strongmen do? We factor that in. Is that an unknown variable?
Yeah, unknown variable. But that's the thing with that is you're gonna get that occurring. You're gonna get the variables in there. You're gonna get that. But the thing is, if you're 6'9", built like a fucking shit house, have you met the Stoltmans or Hapthor Bjornsson or bloody any of the strongmen from the past? Have you met Terry Hollands?
I've seen him at Rogue, like literally walk past Stoltman's had a stall behind me, and you cannot believe how big they are until you actually see them, can you?
Yeah.
It's insane.
They are what those myths throughout history were written about, right? They're like, they are the giants, and that's why it's called Giants Live. They are literally giants, right? So they're never going to live long anyway. Their life expectancy is probably 15 years less than ours, but they're genetic freaks. On top of that, they may well be using enhancement, but who knows? It's one of those things that we know probably, but yeah, they're just genetic freaks. Like, they're lifting 510 kilos.
Yeah.
That's nuts. The sheer force going through the body is nuts. But yeah, so and then you look at like professional cycling. Like, have you ever dove into, I hate that word. Have you ever dove into like the Tour de France? Like, what those guys fucking do?
Well, they have like quite a high rate of like developing like illnesses like cancer and things after, because of the amount of liquid carbs they have to consume in order to sustain what they're doing.
Well, put it this way, my second cousin from the island, Sam, he is a type 1 diabetic from birth. He's a professional road cyclist. He does it without having to absorb high sugar liquid carbs because he can't. So yeah. What they put their body, what they can endure is nothing short of fucking spectacular. Like, you go on, have you got a bike erg? Of course you have, right? So you sit on the bike erg, hit 400 watts for 4 hours. See how you feel.
Didn't they say that the guy that won the Leadville, that Froning bike?
Yeah. The
guy that won that, something like held about 350 watts for like 9 hours or something, or 8 hours or something outrageous. The guy that won it, it's just mental.
And it's not road cycling. You know, it's uphill, it's down, it's at an altitude above 10,000 feet, it's off road, it's fucking nut. But this is the thing, they're specialists. And the strongman, the reason why strongman was fairly high up the list as well is because it is varied as well. They're doing a lot more variants. So remember, on the first radar, they had a bigger portion of that radar covered than High Rocks. They're covering a lot more ground than High Rocks in terms of general skills, because of the random nature, or not varied nature of it.
Yeah, there's no set tasks, is there?
No, exactly. You're going to be lifting heavy shit, and chances are you're going to be pushing, pulling, and squatting. But all the other stuff, it's fucking crazy stuff. So their bodies have got to be really, really, really fucking well prepared for force production. But they're specialists in that. But they don't obviously do, a marathon row. But they've got the world record on 100-meter row and 250-meter row. So, yeah.
I feel like the strongman as well recently. I've always watched it because it used to be one of the things I watched, like at Christmas when you were a kid with my grandparents and stuff.
Hell yeah.
But I feel like now they're actually a bit more agile, aren't they? They're making them move a little bit more than they used to. And some of the tasks where they have to run up and down with things, it seems to be a bit more athletic than it used to be, definitely.
Yeah. It's
we went and watched one, didn't we, in Chef, at Chef Arena one year. British strongman.
I went last year as well, actually. Yeah, I went last year. And you could definitely see that. There's a guy there, got his name now, Paddy something.
Yeah, but the O'Dwyer, yeah.
Yeah, way smaller than any of the others, but like agility-wise and as an athlete was like blew people away. Do you know what I mean? From just being his ability to move his own body, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they're getting a hell of a lot more athletic. That it's sort of happened over the last sort of 10 years. They've got a lot more that way. I've got a second publication. It's from December 2020. Looking at that. Hang on, can I just? It's really interesting to look at if you're interested in the body fat percentages. But again, it's a really useful tool because it's also a reminder for people to not compare yourself to the elites in terms of what they're doing. I'm not sure. Can you see that? Don't know if you can. I can't really
pretty
zoom
big.
in much. I can't zoom in much. But so over 5 years, so this is the average deadlifts, average fat mass, body fat percentages. Over the course of it, so the body fat percentages were like, oh, for fuck's sake, sorry, I'm getting really good at this, aren't I? Body fat percentages were, fuck off. I'll share it again. 1 sec. Sorry, mate, it's a long day.
Is that the last 5 years? Is it?
Yeah, up to 2020. So it's 2015 to 2020. Can you see this?
That's even worse.
Hey, oh, is it? Oh, okay. But yeah, body fat. Where is it? Body fat percentages. So it was between 18.5% to 6. So there was someone with a 6.2% body fat.
Fucking Jesus.
And the thing is, we have these perceptions of what the sports people are like and what they do. Like, I would like to see a body fat percentage analysis done of the CrossFit Games athletes at the games. I'd love to see that. I'd love to know the anthropology of and the biomechanics and how it all works of the games athletes. I'd love to know that. That kind of data is really fucking useful to show what the elite are like. Because they might come out and it might be like 16% body fat for the women and about 12% for the men, demonstrating that you don't have to be like a bodybuilder type to do CrossFit at the elite level. Might be, it might be a good thing to know and understand that. But is it useful? Don't know. It'll be useful for some people. Some people might be interested, and it's a good argument for people that want to go down the aesthetics route for CrossFit. But we've all been there. Like, we all cycle through like these ideas of, right, I want to be really strong. The whole fucking winter arc thing, fuck off. Going down that route, and like, we want to bulk up. It's all from like, I'm 40. You're fucking 40 as well, aren't you, Steve? Nearly.
Yeah, don't bring Al into that though, mate. He won't be happy with it.
All right. Why?
Well, he's younger than us.
Yeah, well, yeah, I didn't say you were 40. But like, we grew up, my first gym experiences were like bodybuilding. So from the age of 13, so from 1998 until about 2001, I was in my garage at home with my York fucking barbell and dumbbells with the spinny thing with the collars that spun. I was doing that in the garage, doing bodybuilding. I was watching Pumping Iron, and like fucking Ronnie Coleman came through, and I was like, right, I'm 16 now. I can go to the gym and I can start powerlifting. And I did powerlifting because of Ronnie Coleman and Dorian Yates. And I used to get Flex magazine and Men's Health. Then I'd go to GNC and get this, that, and the other, and Hydroxycut and Jack 3D and fucking Muscle Tech and those fucking giant cardboard protein bars that were 1 million grams of protein but taste like shit. Like, I was doing all that crap from like 1998 until about 2004. And then I went down the just general, right, I want to really fucking look good but move good for football. And then it went more down like a functional fitness route for a good solid years. And then 2011, I found this thing that I just discovered, CrossFit. And I was like, oh, this is good. I can use this. This is formalizing what I've kind of been doing already. And then it went, down that route. So, but when you've been doing it that long, and weight and bodybuilding, there's a difference in what I want from the gym to what a 22-year-old who's only grown up with Instagram and Facebook on that's all they know. They don't know a life before Instagram or YouTube or Facebook. They don't know what the Flex magazine was. Like going to WH Smith once a month and picking up the new Flex magazine, standing around with all the weird men that just don't buy anything. They just stand there reading the magazines. Did you ever do that? Just me then. But like the WWF magazines and all that, they used to come out once a month. It was like, But I don't know where the fuck I was going with that. But
I think it's that, isn't it? It's saying why people do it. Like you're saying, like people look at Instagram, I guess, and see people looking fit as opposed to being fit now. Yeah. And then the drivers are different for coming in a gym, aren't they?
Exactly. But yeah, that was the point. Though. Well, I remembered. I was testing you. I train because I want to be really fucking strong. And every now and again, once a year, I go, why do I look like a fucking sack of spuds? I want to actually look good. So I do that, but then I can't do that all year round. I like brownies. I like fucking cookies. I like eating more liberally because I used to do that for about 10 solid years. And that's just ingrained in me, but I can get really fucking strong if I want to. And I played football for a long time. So I've got a really good base engine when I need it. But I tell you the one thing that keeps me in check, the Open. Every fucking February, I'm reminded you've been a fat prick for the last 3 months and you're shit at muscle ups and pull ups. And that's your fault for letting yourself go around November time.
So do you remember it in time to get fit for the Open, or does the Open spank your ass every year and then you're like, shit, next year it's going to be different?
It's a surprise every year.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, I'm really fat and I'm fit in February. Yay. But this year's going to be different. But you watch. This year will be the year that bench press comes up in the Open. Every year I've been hoping for bench press. I know it won't, but thrusters,
every year for what, 11 years?
Double unders, rowing, wall balls. We know the deal. But I always say every year, New Year, I got 6 weeks, 6 or 7 week cycle to train for the Open. If I've stayed relatively strong, relatively fit as a base, 6 or 7 weeks is all I need to get ready for the Open. And every year I fucking fail. I get really, really fit around October every year.
Would you say? I was going to say, would you say though that like, because you're like hammering it at the moment, preparing for your high rocks, you're doing that by doing CrossFit, I guess. But like, I'm not some of them times you're putting up on ski and stuff, it's like you're getting fit for a high rocks. Like, it's just a bit weird, isn't it?
But without any running.
Yeah, oh yeah, okay.
Jon's really annoyed at me, by the way. I know he is. Like,
is he a good runner?
Well, yeah. He went on Sunday morning when I went over for stage 1. We finished breakfast. He went to the gym and did like a fucking 15K on a treadmill just because he was there and he had an hour to kill, or hour and a half.
Did you do that? Did you do that ruck run first as well?
No.
Oh no, you didn't do it.
After that fucking alarm call. Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, everyone ran about it.
5:15, the hotel alarm goes off and we have to get evacuated at like 5:15 in the morning, stand outside. And then went back in.
But everyone was in that hotel as well, weren't they?
Yeah. We got in at 6 o'clock. We got back in the room at 6. Me and Jon sat down and I was like, I've got to be up in an hour. Like, so we just sat and had a coffee and talked about life and just weird shit. And then went for breakfast. But yeah, we didn't go for the ruck. It was too soon. I couldn't go anyway. I was on stage at 8, and it finished at 8, so I couldn't do that.
So just doing high rocks, Jake.
But I'm doing it on the 23rd, Thursday.
Right, nice. In a pair.
Hey, sorry.
In a pair, yeah.
Yeah, I call it a couples high rocks. It sounds much gayer. But Jon's at one this weekend. He's doing one in Poland. He's done like 18.
Oh, wow.
But he keeps telling me not. But I keep threatening to do it in a pair of Nano 2s, rather than like running shoes. I might take him anyway. Oh, we got dark mode. Hello.
Didn't you do an half marathon in Nanos once, Al?
No, not me. Charlotte did. She did a marathon, didn't she? Yeah.
Lad.
Yeah.
Go on, Len. Since we mentioned the weekend, mate, just for El, because I know El's gutted that he weren't there, especially after he saw me getting all them compliments from Big Rich. Who was the highlight speaker for you?
Highlight speaker.
Or who did you get the most from, I guess, whether that were on stage or off stage? Because I know you had a good chat with a few people off stage.
Yeah.
You don't have to say me just because it's my podcast.
You aside. person that I listened to on stage, I got a lot from Rory.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
And this is the thing. It's I've had a bit of a battering today about all this, but I'm just telling my truth. Like anything, you get a 1 minute clip, and you know that the onus here on this issue today with the 1 minute clip is the people producing it and putting it out. So Mayhem having put out this 1 minute kind of real story, whatever the fuck it is, I don't know these words, I'm a caveman, putting that out, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't add anything. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't contribute to anything. It doesn't give any context. It's just, it's almost, I totally agree. It's kind of like a word salad about nothing. There's no context. But you could do that with this show. You could take an average minute out of this and it would have no context. You wouldn't mean anything. You wouldn't be able to know what they're on about. The thing is, it's because it's a hot potato at the moment. It's what everyone wants to know about. Is Mayhem going this way? Is it going that way? Da, 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 da. But the issue is the clues in the title. It's Coaches Congress. The entire weekend was only about making the gym better and coaches getting better at coaching. It was nothing to do or aimed at the purchase or the acquisition of CrossFit or where Mayhem are going with what they're doing. It's nothing to do with the affiliate model. It's nothing to do with the corporation. It's nothing to do with HQ. It was all about people coming from all around the world to get better at coaching, to meet people, to discuss coaching, to discuss how they make their gym better, to make more money as a gym, and to basically make the community better for our members. That's the whole purpose of Coaches Congress. So when Rory came on stage, I've always had a thing with Mayhem about their direction with the faith side of it. They're very US centric, which is fucking good. I want it to be US centric. I want CrossFit. I've come around to this conclusion over the last sort of 5 years or so. I was battling with it. Be global. I want it to be global. Nah, fuck it. Keep it American. Please keep it American. I want it that way. I want the games in fucking California. I want that Mecca being held there. I don't want it to travel around the world anymore. I thought I did. Then I thought about it. I was like, no, fuck it. We have regionals back. That's our games. Send people to California. Anyway, Rory was talking about, were you in the room listening to Rory? Well, weren't you?
Yeah, you're fucking brilliant, mate. You're brilliant.
So the way that he dissected Faith Family Fitness Service, the way that he went through all four of them, the way that he explained about the value sets. And again, it wasn't talking about Mayhem. It was giving them as an example of how we should treat our gyms. And okay, here's the framework. Here's the skeleton that we use. Apply that to your gym. What are your values? What are your Faith Family Fitness service? What's that to you? Come up with them. Here's a blueprint of what to do. It wasn't use ours, become a Mayhem gym at all. There was none of that. There was no selling. It wasn't a sales pitch from them. They're not allowed. Yeah. And the fact that Mayhem sponsored the event, they weren't paid to be there. They paid to be there. They were the headline sponsor of the event. So each of the four bits, because you have Christy Novak first, Austin Maliolo, Rory, and then Rich and Facundo at the end. So you had 4 hours of Mayhem on stage. And they discussed one element of how Mayhem does their business towards their affiliate and their affiliate models. Their affiliates around the world, how they work, how their programming works, how to adapt for different people, that kind of thing. It was all to do with coaching and how to run an affiliate, which was awesome. That everyone's there with their notepads out, writing down tips and what to do and how to coach better and, cues and that kind of thing. And Austin's hour, 55 minutes, which has been, rehashed today. Austin's 55 minutes was how to coach effectively, how to apply the Mayhem method into how to coach for integrity, how to coach squat mechanics, why we don't want to push people beyond straight away, why we don't want to get them into the sport. It was all about coaching. That was the whole point. So the context of that clip, we know the context was about how to be a better coach. And it's implied because it was at Coaches Congress. But maybe they should have done a better job of explaining that on their socials about this clip was taken in context when Austin was talking about the black box theory, which was his speech, what it's all about, and about how to apply the methodology to a broad base at your gym. That wasn't explained. So there's context that needs to be there. But people paid, and it is right. I've had this thrown at me twice or 3 times today, but people did pay a lot of money to be there. So, but again, the onus for the context is on the content creators.
Yeah, that was the thing with that. I didn't actually see that talk, so I didn't go to that one. I went to a different one, but they did him dirty, and that's their own crew, because that were absolute bollocks. That reel, it was like, what are you? Because I saw it before Savon dissected it, and when I saw it, I was like, what is he saying? He's not said anything. And then and then Savon went on his rant about it all. But I guess, like you said, you could do that with anyone, but if you're putting your own content out, it shouldn't come out like that. It'd be different if you'd have dissected it and put that out, because then you could have done it to manipulate the message and make it look as bad as it came out. But they didn't. They put it out. So the fact that they didn't know it was nonsense, or that was the best they could get, I guess that was the worry from people that didn't have the full picture. Yeah,
it's fear of missing out, isn't it? It's I want to know what was said. Tell me what was said. And quite rightly, if there's stuff that I want to know about and I wasn't there, I'm like, fuck, should have gone. And that's where we can say, right, there's one in Stockholm in January, end of January. There's Coaches Congress Stockholm, and guess who's going to be there again?
Yeah, they're all
the
there,
Mayhem crew. They're all going to be there. So, like we've been saying for months and months and months now, get yourself to Coaches Congress. It's going to be awesome. I had Henrik on the show. I had Heather on the show. We did ticket giveaways. We talked about it forever. Every show for the last 3 months, I've been mentioning it. And it turned out to be a really, really fucking important meeting, which is cool.
It was, I blew me away. Like I couldn't believe how amazing it were. Like, I can't wait for the next one. Got a weekend confirmed again.
Yeah, good. Here's a question for you. I asked you on this, and we thought of one example of this. One example, right? Was there any discussion all weekend where a current games athlete was mentioned?
Not that I heard. No, absolutely not. There weren't.
Nope. There was one example.
They really weren't.
No, at the dinner party, it got brought up because we were sat with the people that run Rogue Europe, and we were talking about the Rogue Invitational that we're going to, and they mentioned that Hopper's been signed as a Rogue athlete, and that was it.
Yeah.
We were sat there for ages thinking, did anyone bring up a games athlete? Was the games mentioned whatsoever? Like the current games mantle? Was that? It was all. None of it was mentioned, and there's a reason, because that wasn't why we were there. We were there to produce better affiliates and coaches. And that's that. Every single person that spoke over the weekend, their sole focus was the affiliates and the coaching. That's it. There was no other context.
What were it like last year, Alex? You went last year, didn't you? Was it a similar vibe? Was it like all geared up in that way again?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I mean, HWPO were there last year when I was there. And it was a bit more... I don't know. When I went last year, some of the things that we went and listened to felt a bit salesy. I know Jake said then they're not allowed to, but that's what it felt like the previous year a little bit. Pretty much everyone who got on the stage was trying to sell something, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, it was good. It was a great weekend. I enjoyed it. I went down with Ad from Buxton, and we had a good time and learned plenty of stuff. And I took some stuff away that we do now with the gym that works really well. So it was well worth going, kind of thing. It's just a shame I couldn't make it happen this year, but I'll definitely be going again at some point.
Well, the dates are confirmed for next year. I think it's the 3rd and 4th of October. Pre-registration's open.
I spoke to someone that said the layout was a bit better as well, I think. So last year it was all in different separate rooms. There was a lot of, it didn't feel disjointed, but there was a lot of like moving around. Whereas someone said this time, I was talking to George actually from Boxmate earlier, and he said like everything was pretty much in the same room other than where the where the talks were, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Whereas
Yeah.
last year there was like a vendor village, there was then a workout area, but they were all in separate rooms.
Right.
So he said the venue was a lot better this time round.
Cool. Yeah, and they're learning.
Was it not
Sorry.
at Twickenham last year?
No, it was a hotel near Heathrow. Can't remember which one it was, but it was just like a conference centre, hotel style kind of thing.
Mm. But you know, and that's the thing. Like with everything, every year and every event, like on the wrap up yesterday, it was yesterday, fucking Sunday afternoon. The last thing we did when I was telling everyone, one of those slides was feedback form. Like Henrik and Heather even shouted out, please let us know if there's anything we can do better. If there's any guests that you want to tell us about, and we want us to think about having them, let us know. And I've had the QR code up on the behind me, and I left it there for about 30 seconds for people to scan. They're desperate for feedback. And what does that show you? It shows you they want to make a better event for everyone. So they probably got a bit of feedback after last year, and they've probably gone with that, which is cool.
Yeah. It was amazing. They're just fucking good guys as well, aren't they? Both of them.
Oh,
they were just so sound.
But they're kids that walking around. Did you meet their kids at all?
Yeah, well, I did. Erg Shoot. That's Sam, the lad.
Yeah.
It was Sam. Was his name Sam? The lad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like really good shot, but he was shit at burpees. So me and him teamed up, and I did his burpees, and he shot. We came second overall. It was, but yeah, pressure got to him a bit. I was too fast on burpees. He couldn't reload quick enough. I think that was his problem.
Oh shit! Yeah.
But he was cool. Cool kid.
Was it busy? Yeah, locked down there.
Yeah.
There must have been like. What do we know how many tickets he sold, Jake? Because someone asked me, and I said it must have been like 400 or 500.
It was over 500. Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, and then the vendors, and then the speakers, and that kind of thing. So overall, there's probably about 650 people there.
Good turnout.
Really good. It's really. I don't want to say the P word, positive. I'm not allowed, but it's really encouraging. There you go. It's really encouraging to see that many people investing and wanting to develop. And the thing is because they know it's not a case of they're going there to do anything other than improve. They're not going there to meet games athletes. They're not going there to watch fitness racing. It's the bit of it and that's why I'm so passionate about it, is because it's the stuff that I give a shit about. It's the stuff that we all, all of us, we give a shit about and we care about. So yeah, it was really cool, and I really loved it, and I'm really mega keen, if I can, in some way, of staying involved, because it's as close to making my own business as I can get. It's like me at the moment. I'm coaching at a CrossFit gym. It's the closest thing I can get to owning a CrossFit gym, is to work there and be part of it. And it's the same with Coaches Congress. It's an amazing thing to be involved with. Just being there, just being there is like, I'm involved. I'm part of this. I'm part of it. And that was the biggest takeaway. It was like a reminder. You're part of this thing. This thing. Where is it? This thing. You're part of this thing. You're a big fucking reminder. It was awesome. It was good.
Yeah, it was. And you did feel that everyone when everyone's there for the same reasons, and everyone wanting to be, like you say, positive about it, it shows that it's alive and kicking, regardless of what anything might be portrayed as in the media and in the fucking other fuckers that want to tear it down. It's alive and well, and it's going to flourish wherever that community stays at its core.
Oh yeah.
Right. I reckon that's about us then, gents.
Cool. Nice one. Do you know what I've started watching last night?
What?
That Ed Monster, Ed Gear or something, or Ed Gear. Have you seen that series? You know, the Jeffrey Dahmer series that was on Netflix last year?
Yeah.
There's another one, and it's about the guy that basically influenced Dahmer, Silence of the Lambs, Psycho. He's the original fucking Psycho, and it is fucking mental.
Is it him that used to fucking like chop his mum's face off and then wear it around house and that? Is it that youth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've heard of him.
And
like
Charlie, is it Charlie Hingham You know the guy that was in Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah, Finger, yeah. Hunman, is it? Hunman?
Yeah,
Hunman?
Hungman, whatever. Yeah. Charlie hung like a donkey man. Yeah, he plays the main guy in it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to episode 2 tonight. My mate told me earlier, she was like, it's fucking mental. Like it gets really, really, really mental. And I'm like, all day, I've been waiting to watch this program where this guy fucks his mum's corpse. It's well weird. Like, yeah.
And then you had to come on this podcast and talk about the sickness health continuum. Sounds like you're stuck in it, mate.
Hell yeah.
Right. Well, thanks for jumping on, really mate. Good.
Oh, my pleasure.
It's sexy, mate. That you wear it well. I'm glad I got it for you. Look at that. What a print. Don't come off like that Belita's one did without even a wash, does it?
Doesn't stretch either. Doesn't split. Yeah.
Good premium that.
For the gym and beyond.
For the gym and beyond, mate. Straight to the fucking moon. Right. Cheers, lads. I'll just end stream now and then we can just say goodbye. Cheers.